tradesman always blames his tools. And that's what I'm doing right now. What are we doing, Sonny? Talking the talk. But you're not walking the walk.
You will get a shave in hospital. But it's not bad.
Oh, is this a lot of...
Well, the launch party to me, if you look at it, when I first heard you'd lost $85, I thought, well, it could either be, it was either the greatest launch party of all, like fundraiser of all time, or the worst fundraiser of all time. Because depending on what was being given out, what, you know, that kind of stuff.
Sort of like the glass half empty type attitude you've got there, yeah.
And then I heard that we sold $100 worth of raffle tickets.
$130.
$130. So how much did we end up making?
$50.
$50 for our launch party.
Yeah.
What were we aiming to?
We were hoping to raise about $8,000.
Between my first time in the car with the team and our first race, the only way I could practice to get better was with a PlayStation game that I'd bought on eBay of some guy in Germany. I suppose, like a lot of athletes train in wind tunnels, we were training on the PlayStation. You realise if anything happens to me, my mum's going to want you to blow. Well, leading up to the first race day, I had to get a full medical done, and I had to pay an entry fee, and that was it. There was no course. I didn't have to prove I could drive properly. In fact, I didn't have to show my driver's license. I could have, by rights, you know, I could have been in prison for bad driving, and then I got out of the slammer on parole, straight to the track. Let's do this, boys.
So you're secretly hoping that it paused for the next 12 to 14 hours?
I'm desperately hoping that it gets rained out. A stay of execution. Come race day number one, we still had no money in the bank at all. We had a few people talking about possibly giving some money to us, but the deeper they dug before they were going to write their checks, the more they realised that maybe our team didn't have much substance.
Most of the guys out there that have sponsors are actually the son of the person who owns the business, or related somehow or affiliated somehow with the business. So sponsors aren't necessarily coming from outside, coming in and looking for a driver and trying to put him up.
But we were in financial trouble. We had a car, we couldn't pay for anything, so we were just doing it on Guru's coin. The only thing is here, who's my beneficiary? Is that like my will? Me. I wanted everything I own to be buried with me.
No,
Alright, thank you. Alright. Rule book. I'm going to have to start reading that tonight before I get out there. And licence. Fully ticketed sprint car driver. Basically at this stage in my career, I don't want to sound arrogant, but I'm possibly the most successful sprint car driver here at the track, if not Australia, if not the world.
I think when he started in the sprint cars, he had 1 point left on his licence, and that wasn't because he was hooning around or anything. It was purely because he'd lost all his points being a really bad driver.
I mean, no matter which way you want to look at it, I have never been beaten in a sprint car race up to this point in time. Never been beaten. With the first one, I got out there and I didn't check that the fuel line was actually switched off. So I was going out there trying to rev it, and he was pushing me around. He did about 2 or 3 laps with a car pushing me around, and but the fuel line wasn't on, so there was no fuel going in. So obviously I had no hope of starting.
Well, the wheels have fallen off, figuratively speaking.
I mean, luckily they let us run again, because we got a fair bit of pull at the Parramatta Speedway. This is like second last. Second last. Should I send a bottle of champagne over the guy who came 53rd?
Yeah.
No, just a good gesture of goodwill.
I think I've been very disappointed, obviously, in Haken's first lap out. I mean, I put a lot of work into this car this week, and the fact he couldn't even get in the track is an utter disgrace. Mind you, I did break down the way out here, and I couldn't fix the car. The NRMA had to come, and then I locked the fucking keys in the car as well, so that's why I'm late. But Steve, I think once he just stop concentrating on the camera so much and actually start thinking about racing, he's got enough things on, and I think Haken's starting to realise that, you know, this is pretty big, this thing, and we're just a very small fish in like a huge barrel with very professional drivers. So,
As I said earlier on, I may not have ever been beaten in the sprint car race before that I've entered, because I've actually never had to race, but I am possibly the worst sprint car driver in the country at this very given moment.
You're talking the talk, but you're not walking the walk, Hank.
Marty was a bit competitive and he wanted to be up there, and to look at it from a realistic point of view, it wasn't going to happen. As I said, he was trying to beat the best, and these blokes had spent years and years getting there.
Can you get a check on the lap record? I might have a shot. I'm going to go for it tonight.
Tonight, round 6 of the Coca-Cola Sprint Car Track Championship. First event on tonight's program, the non-qualifier, distance is 8 laps.
Himself with car 49 and Gary Hahn had got it all crossed up going down the back straight, and let Martin Haken absolutely nowhere to go, and being so much of a rookie, couldn't quite make it stick.
Well, blew a tyre. You know, that's twice, Steve. Power steering, now the wheel. You keep this car together, I'll win you races. If you guys keep the car on the track, I'll weep magic. I'll weep my magic. But if I can't have a competitive car,
for some reason we're going the wrong way with your foot into it.
there's only one way to go. That's go left and go hard.
mate, I'll tell you what, there was a bloke who was dead set stopped in the track, and you still managed to spin out going around him. How hard is it to go around a bloke who's broken down?
I swear I heard on the earpiece, ladies and gentlemen, expression session time. And I just started doing some donuts.
Which is good. You got another run?
Yeah. There you go. I've qualified last in the C main final, so I'm back at the grid in the C main. So one more run tonight. Was that rain? I think I felt a drop.
You've been dancing.
Let's pack her up. This is a washout. I had qualified for the C main, but I still had no idea what I was doing. I actually felt every time I got in the car, I wasn't learning anything new. I was actually just realising more things that I was supposed to know, which I had no idea about.
We're set to go racing.
I find myself in the grid of the C main, and I'm surrounded by other cars, other race car drivers. It was just ridiculous. And all of a sudden, everyone takes off.
This is the C main course.
But I missed the start. I had no idea. And a guy just came flying over the top of me. A huge wheel just came about, an inch from my head. So I could see the front wing was just flapping about a bit. I didn't know what else was above me or to the side, or how bad I was damaged. But I stayed out there because you get no points for a non-finisher. So I knew if I'd stayed out there, limped home, I would have got 1 point rather than none. I can't believe it.
Where's that? Stretch your legs on that exhaust, mate.
Yeah. Yeah, after that, I had no confidence left. Holy shit. These stickers cost about $3. When I got in, the rest of the team said, "Why did you miss the start like that?"
You could be in the back straight.
Oh, right. I was just on the anywhere looking for the green light.
No, you could be on the back straight, right? And you can see the guys in the front straight
See,
going.
I didn't even know that. I should have learned that from the video game. No one had thought that someone could be so stupid and be in a race and not know the sequence of lights to know when to take off. Well, it just happened all of a sudden. I didn't know what was happening. All of a sudden, I saw the guy, just saw the front, and then he came, as you see, straight through me rather than around me. And after that, I had no confidence.
And then wait a second, you're racing today, the 2 times you've caught on fire,
Caught on
you've
fire.
almost hit the wall.
Almost a goal,
You spun out,
Yep.
you've been hit by another car and ruined the wing and the front wing, and almost got hit by the actual wheel itself. As you can see, the tyre marks near your head.
Steve, does third-party insurance cover this kind of this? It wasn't a good start to the career. I'll put it that way. Week in, week out, we were there racing, really trying to get a bit of a roll on. We had a good team: Guru, MacGyver, Toolbag. You know, everyone was doing their bit. I've got to mentally prepare. I'll be at the drivers' meeting, and I'll see you cats later.
Yeah, it's driver's meeting on, is it? What are you bother going for?
Every week we'd go out there, and he used to confide in me how shit scared he was, and that he hated actually going out to the track every week because he was so scared. And and that's what you saw it on the track.
Everyone takes the necessary evasive action, which is good to see.
8 laps, 3 spin outs, 1 crash, and 1 catch on fire. So I don't think we've got the best driver, to tell you the truth. Look at him. He's not even worried about the car. He's socialising.
What's Gilly's doing? I told you last time I want an ejector seat or something. just if I can see it coming, just fuck and get out and just let the car smash into the wall.
Your confidence is faltering.
That really didn't do me any wonders. They're spinning out. I just don't know what to do out there. You know, I felt I was improving in some ways, but then I was going backwards in other ways.
We'll have a look at Hankton's first time in car 79. It was a 16.909.
Marty's performance, he was fucking terrible, actually.
Did Marty have the blinkers on out there before?
Oh fuck, I don't know. He's that slow.
Yeah.
Toolbag was really coming along well as a top line mechanic.
Toolbag seemed to be completely useless. He didn't seem to want... He only wanted to learn at the track and then forgot everything you told him last week.
He learned a lot. He came a long way. But I don't think I actually ever saw him fix anything.
We need a splash of...
He just used to turn up and stand around, but he was good at delegating.
Yep. I don't want any... Just want you to set some rules here, Steve, like when we're in the pits. But what I fucking say goes all right.
I didn't listen to a word Guru said.
And then you'll have one guy just doing like the rest of the stuff, like making sure everything's tight, the fuel's done.
It was just like coming in, and it was like blah, 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 and then it would come out, and I didn't have a clue about anything about what he'd said or what to do with the car. Except I knew I had to scrape mud off it.
You know,
So considering I don't know anything about cars...
you'll learn quick.
All right, sweet.
He used to wipe the car down though. So if cleaning mud off the side of a sprint car is fixing the sprint car in some roundabout way, then he was good. He was really good. He fixed it a lot.
The last thing I want is him blaming shoddy workmanship for his inability to drive.
But you know, we were still there. We were still in it. Oh, these guys are just so good, and I'm just having no idea. Even the slightest condition changes on the track, and I'm supposed to know how to adapt to it. I have no idea. I just drive the same way every time I go there, which is pretty badly at the best of times, but it's just very difficult. Well, there you go. No, well, I still was shitting myself, but I felt better because I was just more concerned around me, not too worried about what other people were doing. Which is the key, I think.
Well, mate, we're going to have to start getting more competitive there.
There was actually one of the push cars going on the back straight. And it was actually quicker than that.
Oh, yes.
There was.
What, a push car?
One of those four-wheel drives.
When I was doing my time trial.
You were going that slow.
Now you're making fun of me.
Alright? Yeah. Enough with the head starts, now's the time to make it move.
it wasn't happening. You know, every time I get out there, something would go wrong. You know, it was very frustrating for all involved.
This is just physically and just beyond me. I'm just not good enough at doing what these guys are doing without killing myself or someone else.
It was a bit of a mess over the course of those next couple of races.
Well, I live to fight another day. Well done, mate. All their day's work.
Why do we continue with so much against us and, you know, so much riding on it, but, you know, so little being delivered? I think it could be answered by Hollywood himself the night when he was asked to sign some autographs.
I was just standing on the hill.
A girl in the crowd came up to me and asked if I was Hollywood.
She came screaming over and said, oh, excuse me, sorry, are you Hollywood? You Hollywood? I went, yes, I am. She goes, oh, I'm your biggest fan. I watch you on YouTube all the time. Can you give me your autograph, please? I want to have the first one. So I signed her up, signed away, and she goes, how's it feel to be beat by my sister? And I went, ooh.
She had got up off her ass, off the hill, walked a certain distance just to put shit on me.
Correct.
And that to me says it all. I mean, she made the effort, and you know, you can't turn your back on that.
We've been very fortunate in the last 5 years here at Parramatta Raceway to be able to bring the best of the best in the USA over here to compete in our Outlaws Down Under event.
I wanted to get out there and race in one World of Outlaws race, just one, because of the fact that it's like the Formula One of sprint cars, the World of Outlaws Tour over in America, and the fact that Tom Cruise in Days of Thunder does race in the World of Outlaws. So then I figured then I could pretty much compare myself to Cole Trickle. But Guru just wouldn't let me.
Yeah, I just didn't want Marty to race. I was actually happy for him to wait until all that part was over, and then we'd come back later in the year and do 3 or 4 meetings, you know, and less cars and all that kind of stuff. But no, he wanted to go on the big stage.
I did manage to get out on the track with the Americans before most of them went home. It was after the World of Outlaws. It was just a normal round at Paris Speedway.
You can see we've changed the paint job.
It feels natural. I want to drive. I'm so desperate to drive after watching how bad Hankin goes. I know I could do a better job.
You know, I think it looks good. We were lacking what a lot of cars seem to have other words on there, like sponsors, I think they're called. I don't know, but
Well, Toolbag's showing up with our sponsors, isn't he?
I really don't. We don't have much to go on there.
I reckon when we go to the States, I race. Because I think Hankin's got no ability, and he's admitted it more than once. Actually, he admits it every single time he gets out of the car. So
I'm going to reinvent myself today as someone who knows what they're doing, as opposed to the last few weeks. Should be good.
I think there could be a coup on the cards. Hollywood out, Toolbag in.
No, in all honesty, I'm not looking out to this is such a loser thing to say. I don't care where I finish. I want to know where. I just want to feel conscious that I've actually improved with my driving.
I'll be honest, I didn't want him to race, and we're all there. We went out for tea, and I said, I do not want you to race.
I distinctly remember sitting him down with you and looking him in the eyes and saying, mate, I'm not going to crash, but if I do, we're good for the coin. We're good for it.
Peter Murphy talked us into it, and Marty talked me into it. So I was uneasy about the whole thing.
And he said, you know, this will cost you between $20,000 and $40,000 if you crash this car. And it was, you know, it was a good moment. We sat him down and just basically looked him straight in the face and said, it's all right, we've got it covered. The checks are in the mail.
I just felt that I couldn't be there to help him or anything. So it was up to like Toolbag, and Toolbag, good intentions and all, but no idea.
Sad to say, Toolbag's the most experienced crew member I've got working on the car tonight.
You got to send him out with 5 and 9.
That's what I like, 5 and 9. Must have got a 6 and 9.
And he is, to put it mildly, absolutely useless. Useless as tits on a bull. He has no idea. More confident, which is good because that's all I want, is just to come away with a bit more understanding, but I'm sure the track will change and that's when I'll be test it, so we'll see what happens anyway. That's good.
Mate, he just had a ripper of a time trial, but we got back into the weigh station. Then our right rear tyre is actually too big. We've got a 19-inch tyre on here, and you legally only have an 18-inch. So he did a great time trial, but we've got to head on back out there, jump on the back of these guys, and he's got to do it all over again. So it's good. He gets more time on the track, and he's getting more confident every time he goes. So thumbs up. It's not too bad.
His time trials and hot laps were the best he's ever raced, without doubt.
Mate, it's very exciting. Hankins probably driving the best he's ever driven.
So yeah, going through the rounds, it was all looking good.
I didn't qualify last, so you know, I'm climbing the ladder, so that's good. Happy with it.
Mate, we're all very happy with how things are going tonight. He might even make the D main final, which would be a fucking miracle.
I don't know whether I was rising to the occasion because all the Yanks were out there, or just things it's hard to click, being in the pits and being able to step back and watch. But I really felt like for the first time I was really driving far better than I had all season by a mile.
The road's back on. Road's back. Road's back on, Marty.
Went all right in his heat, stayed out of trouble, which was good.
He's actually passed someone. Well, I still think it's debatable that he actually passed the bloke. I'm sure he blew something as Hankin was coming out of his arse. If I saw Hankin coming up behind me, I'd be kind of blowing out as well. He's the worst driver I've ever seen. So. But, you know, I'm actually quite proud of him today. It's the best I've ever seen him go.
I was proud of him that night. I think in a bit of excitement, I thought we were going on our way to, off to the States to race in the Nationals.
We can make it to Knoxville. I know we can.